The next thing to consider is how do we simulate the crank handle on a real hurdy-gurdy. At the moment I'm using this handle with some buttons on it. I've managed to get the lower button working to produce a buzz, which means I can reliably create, if you like, an electronic buzz through the modified sound font that sits inside the phone. So how can we do this? Well, you can buy small motors from China which are designed for robots, small model robots, and they have a reduction gear on the end of the motor. So I was trying to find one with the correct reduction gear that will allow me to have a little bit of feedback through the crank handle and generate a voltage when I spin the motor. So if you spin a motor, it will act as a generator, a dynamo, and produce a voltage. This one spins a little too easily. And the idea here was that an analog pin would read the voltage, an analog pin on the Arduino, and therefore we could use it to trigger the buzz when a threshold was exceeded. So this worked in principle, but it was mechanically a little too easy to turn. This was the next motor I bought. This one is the opposite. It has such a large reduction gearbox that I can't actually turn it at all. So good for a robot, no good as a crank handle. So this one is somewhere in between the ratio here. The crank is designed for a fishing reel. It's been slightly modified. Again, they're low cost, they're available from China. The whole point of this device is that it's low cost. It gives a small degree of feedback, but not too much, because if there's too much, then you have to have a strap to hold this to your body, otherwise you'll push it off your lap. So the idea was for a little bit of feedback, probably less so than in the real hurdy-gurdy. And when I crank it, you can see this pager motor. This is a pager motor, or the vibration motor from a mobile phone. You can see as I spin this, I can make it jump. There you go, vibrate. There it goes. So I'm clearly generating a voltage in a sort of spike form, and I can read that using the Arduino inside this, the body of the Digi-gurdy, and I already know I can produce the buzzing sound at will from the soundfont file, currently using this button. So because this handle removes completely, I can have a different plug-in module that will incorporate this. And if you want to try it with a crank, then you can just bolt it on, plug in the little plug here, and it should work. So that's the next step in the development from where we are now. But anyway, it's got potential, and it looks reasonably nice too.